true objective is I'm not planning to replace people with AI. I'm planning to put AI supporting people. It's much better for me if I have my CSM on a quarterly business review, visiting a customer, working on adoption, or having much more strategic relationships and actually increasing connections we have inside the customers to other departments than fulfilling documentation, writing the stories. They are already inputting a lot of the data we need. I'm just giving them support. And I think that will make of their role much more interesting.
You're listening to Unchurned, brought to you by the Gainsight Podcast Network. Last September, when BMC split into two companies, Sofia Barbosa was promoted to Chief Customer Officer. Smaller team, same massive challenge, supporting hundreds of products globally. But here's what happened next. Within weeks, her team tripled their output of customer success stories. Processes that took 3 weeks now took hours. Support escalations dropped to 0 red alerts for the year. How? Sofia didn't hire more people. She didn't reorganize. Instead, she built an AI platform called Succedo. What used to take months, creating a customer success story, now takes a day. Support tickets that might escalate, AI catches them first. Training paths through hundreds of courses, personalized instantly. But this isn't about replacing people with AI. It's about Sofia discovering that when you free CSMs from administrative work, something unexpected happens. They can finally do the strategic work that actually moves the needle. Hey, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Unchurned. I'm Josh Schachter, your host, and I'm here with the CCO of BMC, Sofia Barbosa, based in Portugal. Sofia, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me, Josh. Really glad to be here.
So we all know BMC, major enterprise. You guys do so many different things, big company. Tell us very briefly what BMC does, and then I'd love to learn quickly about your org.
Yeah, for sure. So BMC is a leader on the mainframe modernization space through our Amy Suite products, and also in terms of workload automation and orchestration through our Control M product. So we have customers all around the globe, and my team in particular in customer success is divided in several different types of areas, like professional services. So we have a team of experts that supports all of our products and implement solutions. We have our customer success management and customer success specialist group that basically helps customers with value realization, with adoption, and all of the good things we want our customers to achieve. And I also have the support organization under my remit in customer experience, which handles with all voice of the customer and all related activities in terms of customer experience and outcomes. So in a nutshell, we are a global team. We are across all continents, and it would be in excess of 415 people at this point in time.
Wonderful. And you were not so long ago promoted to the role of Chief Customer Officer. There was an organizational transformation, if you will, a little split in the company. And so now you have BMC and BMC Helix. And so you're running the BMC side of the org. I don't know if that's the official title for your side of the org. But congratulations on that. What went through your mind when you got the nod that you were going to become the CCO?
Yeah, so I think BMC did announce a company split back in September last year, and we had to readjust all the organization to be able to support these product lines and the company. I was already managing support and customer success management previously, so I think it's an interesting challenge. I think the company is growing at a fast pace. And I'm really keen to see where I can take customer success forward. And I think sometimes there are things that moves us into a certain direction. And I think one of the things that I really want to share with you, Josh, and with everyone today is how this split made me think even a bit deeper in terms of how CS is operating and how can we automate more, how can we be more efficient, how can I ensure that my customer success specialists and managers are actually spending more time with customers, and what can I do to help their day-to-day. So I think it was like propelling us forward for scale, automation, and how can we help our practitioners in the field, a consequence of this split and the way we were organizing the team.
Okay, so I want to get into the deeper thinking, how it forced you to think deeper about the org. But first,
Yes.
I'm friends with Colin Murphy. You know
Yeah.
Colin. Colin?
Really well.
Very well. You worked for him, former CCO,
Yes.
BMC,
Yes.
now
Yes.
CCO at Zendesk.
Yes.
And I emailed Colin. I actually texted with him and he sent me a voice memo. And I asked Colin, tell me about Sofia specifically. I want to know when is Sofia at her best? Where does she spike? So you want to hear what Colin had to say?
No, I want. No, I want to know.
It was very complimentary. Sofia is a woman of many talents, but I'd group her strengths into two categories that together make her unique. So, category one, his words, solving complex customer issues. She's exceptional at jumping in to untangle complicated customer related challenges, often involving multiple teams across an ecosystem. She doesn't just put out fires, she puts structure behind the solution, especially when the problem spans more than one customer.
Mhm.
1B for him is structuring ambiguous problems. On the other end of the spectrum, she's equally strong at bringing clarity to undefined opportunities, whether it's launching a new monetized CX offering, designing a new coverage model, shaping a competitive play, or rethinking digital engagement. She can take a vague idea, structure it to a plan, and make it actionable.
Oh,
What do
it's
you
so nice,
think?
Colin. Yeah, I think he knows me well. We work together. I really like Colin. I think Colin is a great person to work for. I think he's doing great now in Zendesk, and he knows I wish him all the best. And I think we link a lot on the part of the transformation, resolving problems, and also transformation, and how can we propel an organization forward. So, really thankful for his insights. Thanks for sharing, Josh.
Yeah, he's
Not
a great guy.
expecting that one. It was great. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you mentioned that you share a penchant for transformation and insights. So I reached out to you. I've known you, but I specifically reached out to you a couple weeks ago. You had posted about this thing called Succedo on LinkedIn. It was very compelling when I saw it because it was all about how you're going through AI transformation. And it seemed to me that you had very discrete wins that you were sharing, that you had already been, in my perception, a step ahead of many other leaders at an enterprise of the size and scale of BMC. So that's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about Succedo and about your AI initiatives, your transformation initiatives so far at BMC since you've taken this post. Tell us at high level, what is Succedo, and then we can go from there.
Yeah. So Succedo is basically our agentic AI solution. We started experimenting. The idea here again is when we did a split of the company, we had to divide a couple of teams in terms of the technical expertise and also the roles. And we needed to move faster. We needed to have a bigger reach. And therefore, we decided that we really needed to bet on a couple of tools to make us more efficient. And Succedo was one of them. So we started experimenting with Copilot Studio in this case, but we can use several other platforms. But
This
we
is
started,
Microsoft.
this is Microsoft. And the first thing we did is we wanted to ensure that we were creating success stories for specific use cases. And we had a target and we wanted to develop it further to help other customers see how other customers are actually implementing our products and could be of benefit to them. And our CSMs are great in many, many things, but some of them are not writers. So they needed some help. And we decided, okay, let's try to create an agent that goes and fetch data from these different data sources that we have and actually helps consolidate and put a story together. And then we refine it as we go. So we started working on that. We linked to the data sources we have, Salesforce, Gainsight, many others. And then we started creating Succedo for success stories, which is the practitioner can put the name of the company and the use case they want to put forward, and Succedo proposes and writes the success story. And then we validate and we implement. In many cases, we send to our advocacy team and to others. So the funny part was through that experiment, we were able to triple the amount of success stories we were creating. So we were like excited with the results and we saw, God, this is working. So we have an enormous list that can follow this one. And then
So
we define a type of a backlog.
so so you've got your backlog. We're going to go into that. You saw a 3x increase in the case studies, the value stories that you've been creating.
Yes.
How did you, and sorry if I missed it, but how did you come to start with creating the value stories as your first go into AI?
So that was the first one because there was a particular outcome we wanted to achieve with the number of customer stories we wanted to create on a specific use case for a product. And if I was going to ask our practitioners to do that, I would know that I would take me maybe 1-2 months is to be able to gather all the information we needed and to write it with the level of quality that we think we need to be able to push it forward internally and even externally. That's why we decided to think, okay, let's try to create some automation on this and see how can we help our practitioners and have results faster. That's the way the genesis of Succedo started. And in a couple of weeks, I don't think even if it was 3 weeks, we were able to triple the number of success stories for those particular use cases. So that sparked this initial movement that this works, this brings results, and we want to continue to experiment with other areas.
I think you said it was taking 1 to 2 months to create these case studies. How long does it take currently with
You can,
Succedo?
yeah, with Succedo, you can, if I ask for specific use case, it could take me 1 day, depending on the volume I want. It's very, very fast.
Orders of magnitude faster. And is there a human in the loop part of this process as well?
It is. So there is always a validation. So Succedo produces the story, but there is always a CSM that looks at the story, validates that everything is correct, and then ensures that is published or internally or to our advocacy team. So there is always a human in the loop. Succedo is speeding us up, as you can months in
Yeah.
terms of timelines, but there is always a human in the loop at the
So
end of the
you've
process.
got 3x the number of stories. How does that impact the business, both within your org and even cross-functionally?
A lot because we were able to send much more and explain what our customers were doing in their product, for example, to our advocacy team, and from that we got much more references, and we were able to incentivize more peer reviews. So everything that is linked with references, case studies, peer reviews, I think it was a consequence of us speeding up the success stories with Succedo.
I don't know if you call them CSQLs, but effectively that, right? Effectively, you're helping to bring leads to the party.
Yeah, CSQLs might be a consequence. This for us is really how can we have targets that are linked to the marketing team, for
I see.
example, in terms of the number of references that we want to have outside, the number of advocacy events. So I would link this more to that area. Although at the end of the day, the use cases development does spark the possibility of creating CSQLs, qualified leads. Yeah.
Have you launched this at full scale in your org yet?
Yes, it's fully deployed. Succedo is fully deployed for value for these customer stories, but we are now introducing new ones for different things. Some of them are still in development, some of them are in early POC.
Okay, great. Let's talk about them. What's next? What's next in the pipeline?
So the next one for me is value summaries, what we call here internally value summaries. What is this about? Value summaries is we want to ensure that we are able to give to all of our customers, at least as an ambition, once per year, a complete narrative of the value they are retrieving from our products. Of course, it has for Genesis the outcomes we create, the customer success plans that we input into Gainsight and others. And what this agent does is looks at, even from a pre-sales perspective, what was the initial business case we had proposed the customer, what have we achieved through the adoption progression to everything we put in Gainsight in terms of progression of the work with the customer. And then it provides you a document that explains the customer, their business unit, how they are using our products, and what are the value and benefits they are taking from it. So again, there is always a human also in the loop. We are POCing this part, but it simplifies the process a lot. So it reduces significantly the time we would take to do this one by one.
And
Uh,
what's the end business impact of having more value summaries?
we can articulate what is the value that we are bringing, what is this in terms even from a metrics perspective, what is the impact in efficiency in our customers, in productivity, in transformation, depending on the business outcomes they want to achieve. So we are much better equipped for a discussion in terms of growth or a renewal discussion, for example, because we have this, we document it, we discuss with the customer, we get their sign off, and then it's easier to understand what are the benefits that customers are getting from our solutions, or if they are not getting, what is the action plan that we need to put in place to ensure that they are able to retrieve what they were expecting or eventually even more.
And is it continually updating? I assume that's part of the magic here, is
Yes.
that you don't
Yeah.
have to manually do it and keep it updated. It's doing that on its own.
Yes.
Yeah. And where does it live, those value summaries, once they're created?
So it's actually, we generate a PDF document that we discuss with the customer, but it retrieves data from Salesforce, but use our CRM, retrieves data from Gainsight and others, and through Succedo. Actually, Succedo even also looks at data that is available online. If there was something that is significant on the customer story that happened, it actually puts as part of the narrative in the beginning explaining the customer business. So it does help provide all of that information, and then we produce a PDF that our CSMs discuss on a KBR with the customer, or ensures that the information that is there is correct and is acknowledged.
So we got customer stories, value summary. There's a few more. Tell us about the next one.
There's a few more. Another one is we have a big suite of products. Let's put it like that. I've spoken two categories, but we have more than 400 products overall
Wow.
inside these categories that we are supporting. So we have a big training courses. So we have lots of training courses, certifications, and sometimes can be a bit complex to navigate all the training offerings that we have. So we created Succedo for Education, which basically is in internal use right now. I'm really keen to push this to our customers as a next step. But it searches everything we have and produces a training path for you as a user or for your team if you're an admin. So the idea is really that it's able to help you navigate all of our training documentation, videos, and everything we have available, and simplify it in a manner that gives you like a prescriptive path just for you. And this for us is very powerful because, as I said, it can be complex with the number of courses that we have and learning paths.
What's the overall goal of this, simplified and personalized search? Is it adoption? Is it better onboarding?
Is adoption, is better onboarding, is ensuring that our customers are using their time wisely from a training perspective, and they are getting into the context that they need at the time they need it. So it does help a lot with speed, and does help with onboarding, does help with adoption, and does help us ensure that if there is anyone new to use our tools, they have the assistance they need to be effective on the learning they are choosing to start with and then to navigate through.
Yeah. And is there a way that you can quantify the ROI on this particular agent?
Not at this point in time because we are still using it internally, but I do think that is going to be massive for us. We just
How will
launched.
you quantify that?
So by first, we just launched a customer portal, also a new one, and I want to deploy then Succeed for Education there. We will qualify first. I think we need to track the usage. Afterwards, is through training attendance. So, what are our customers doing in terms of training attendance? We also have surveys for training. How are they scoring? And I really want to know more feedback about Succedo. So maybe I can even try to get some scores about the help that Succedo gave until they reached the learning content. So I think its usage, its completion of training, it's actually then reflected on the adoption of our product also for our customers. So there's lots of things that I think I can create a metric upon to check the impact of Succedo for Education.
Okay, we have a couple more
Yeah.
agents to talk about.
Yes. So another one, and this is more on the support side. So our support team deals with all the inquiries from customers and in very close contact every day. So here we have another tool. In this case, it's analyzing customer sentiment and ensure that helps us create prioritization of the backlog we are dealing with.
You can say, by the way, Sophia, you can say the names of other tools. It's
Support
okay.
logic.
Support logic. We're equal
Support logic.
opportunity promotion here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Support Logic is the tool that we are using. Basically, what it does is it looks at all of our backlog of the tickets or the incidents that we are dealing with and does some prioritization in terms of the sentiment. So reads the sentiment of the customer and say, okay, this is about to escalate. You should take care of this one now. So you can have, for example, on the support side, you have usually P2s, P1s, P3s. P3s are the most normal one. It's a normal incident that you usually, depending on the company, you have 2, 3, 5 days to resolve. But inside those P3s, maybe there's a P3 that is critical for a customer, and the customer is really nervous and he needs to get it resolved. And what support logic does is analyzes that customer sentiment and says, okay, on top of your backlog, this one is very critical for this customer. So please ensure that you deal with this whilst you're dealing with the others inside the SLA levels. But this one is critical. So it helps us with backlog prioritization.
Kind of reminds me of the Eisenhower matrix. Are you familiar with the Eisenhower
Yes.
matrix? If something
Yes.
can be, the level of importance and then also the level of urgency, that 2 by 2.
Yes.
It feels like so. So is that kind of what it's doing? Is it adding that additional layer, or is it actually stepping in and saying, no, 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 you marked this wrong. This actually should be lower priority than what you've called it?
No, it's just raising the flag in terms of the ones that we think that it is really critical that we push forward. So it just has a type of amber, green, red in terms of sentiment, and ensures that our managers and our support technicians are able to take with the ones that are more pressing for customers first. So it does help with prioritization. Where have I seen results in metrics on those ones? On the number of escalations that reduced, on the number of grid sits, on the number of alerts. So it does help us to act faster and prevent escalations from happening.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
great. Okay, I think you have one more.
Yes, we have a lot in the backlog also. Let me tell you something that
Okay,
when
what's the
I'm
most
also
exciting? The biggest one that you want to talk
I'm
about?
this can be very exciting to me. Okay, one of them is statements of work. And this is because inside CS, we also have the professional services organization. And statements of work, many times when we are doing a big project and we need to document everything in terms of the deliverables, what we need to do as phase one, phase two, what are the dependencies on our side, on the customer side, if there is another partner involved. So it can be quite timely to do a type of statement of work in complex engagements. And we are producing now Succedo for statements of work, which basically will have, again, access to all of our data. So it will have access to customer records on our side. And I do think that this will help us simplify and provide us a populated template of statement of work in a record time. And then we just need to deal with some things that might be specific. But I think this has the potential to save us per each one around 3 weeks manual work.
3 weeks of manual work, probably a lot of
Per each one.
a lot of collaboration in there between different parties that are trying to
Yes.
assemble data. And so you basically have given the system some examples of your best templates of SOWs. It understands information about the specific deal and the customer, and then it recommends, the template that's best fit and fills it out for you.
Completely. And analyze these customers that have had similar scenarios.
Yeah.
And proposes a solution based on similar scenarios that then, of course, a human being or an architect needs to go in review. But it does a big portion of the initial work of design. Let's put it like that.
Are you going to try to have it close the loop and go even further in the interaction with the customer? I mean, are you going to get to the place here where it's sending out, DocuSigns or whatever you're using for signatures, the envelopes, and integrating with the CPQs and all those sorts of things?
It's funny you say that because I was discussing with my team today, and on the value summaries, we are now automatically creating the PPT or the PDF. So what we want is that automated creation. And then if we already revise, if everything is okay, it sends to customers automatically, particularly on the lower segments, where we do not need that much detail. It's just more simpler usage of our product.
So there could be a world where it's automating the entire
Fully
workflow.
automated. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we are now investigating on this case. And if this can be done there, then it could be done for segments of work or others.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
That's very exciting.
Yeah, I mean, that's the future of true agentic, right? I
Yes.
think there's agentic is an evolution. It's a spectrum. A lot of the things that are agentic are kind of an extension of Gen AI, of being able to prompt and put really good spit and polish and intelligence on top of the information. But in the case of what I think is like the next, it's current, but it's also, the forefront of agentic is being able to take those actions and close the loop and go end to end. And it sounds like that's one that there's a real big opportunity for.
Completely. Yeah, agreed.
How do you manage all this, Sophia? What else do you do in your day job? I mean, how did you get this? Seems like such a large lift to get off the ground. So, what was your process? I mean, I guess you started small. You said you started with the value stories, the customer stories. Sorry, I forget
Mhm.
which what the official name you called them were. Um, but yeah, how do you manage all this?
I'm passionate for innovation. So this is really like what excites me because I think there is a lot we can do. We started small, we saw results, and all my team is not just me. So I have an amazing team behind me that is really excited with the results. And we are looking at the market, what others are doing. We are trying to speak and understand. And we do think that in some areas we were able to find some good results already. So we really want to push forward. The conversations with my team recently is we are actually channeling here roles in a different direction because of the support we need to give to the agent. And I know since the last time we spoke, Josh, we already have names for the team. So we are going to have the developers of the strategy for Succedo is our Succedo Forge team. And then the people that will maintain and support the agents is going to be the Succedo Care. So we
Okay.
have the Succedo Forge and the Succedo Care. I think is if you're
So
passionate
just
for
to time out there, so you've created entirely new teams in your org
yes, yeah.
for to manage the agents.
Yes, yes. So we just reclassify some roles to be able to have people dedicated just to do the strategy and the initial creation of the agents, and then the testing, the validation, and the ongoing support and maintenance to Succedo Care. So we have the Succedo Forge and the Succedo Care, which is the team that creates and then the team that supports the agents once it goes live.
And what's the sentiment around the organization from your team? I mean, are people running into the corners, not wanting to get picked for this, or are they stacking up their applications and putting their names in the hat to, or is there a little fear as well? Like, what are people thinking?
I don't think there's fear. I think there is a bit like this is a change management. There is a bit okay. Let me see what this will do for me. Yeah, maybe a bit suspicious in the beginning, but once I think they started seeing the results on value stories, they are coming up with new requests.
Yeah,
So they are increasing the backlog.
so they're
Basically,
excited.
they are excited.
You
Yeah.
know, the change management piece is interesting. How are you managing the change management?
Yeah. One of the things that I think is important as a leader in this area is particularly with all the hype around AI. And my true objective is I'm not planning to replace people with AI. I'm planning to put AI supporting people. And that's truly the objective here because it's much better for me if I have my CSM on a quarterly business review, visiting a customer, working on adoption, or having much more strategic relationships and actually increasing the connections we have inside the customers to other departments than fulfilling documentation, writing the stories. They are already inputting a lot of the data we need. I'm just giving them support. And I think that will make of their role much more interesting
Yeah.
because they can focus on the value creation of the role and not so much on the what we can call more admin tasks that they needed to deal with.
Have you carved out a specific role for change management of AI?
I have not. We are doing this through the central team. We have a central team that helps manage all our main projects and initiatives, and they are the ones bringing this. So we are doing enablement, training. We have regular team meetings explaining. So we are navigating the change and we are explaining what are the benefits. And so far, I'm not seeing my team pushing back. I think they appreciate the help. Is what
Yeah.
I'm seeing in terms of but they need enablement and training and they need to understand how to operate and how this will benefit them.
Last question. What's a hot tip you would give to another CCO at a similar type of enterprise around AI transformation?
I think there's lots of discussion about AI. What is the return on investment? What is not? I think CFOs are starting to ask a lot from CCOs and other heads of the departments. You invested here, there. What is the return you're having? So what are you able to show me? Show me metrics. Show me results. And I think we are all trying to get something, but it's very, very early days. So my advice will be start experimenting, because with experimentation, it brings results many times and brings clarity into what can we expect in terms of gaining more productivity or more efficiency. We have done sensitivity matrices already on that based on the initial results we had. So I think we need to stop sometimes speaking so much, and I think we need more action. With action will come knowledge. Yeah, and experiment and fail. It's normal. We need to fail and then recover from it and learn and move forward, as with everything.
Fail fast, fail forward, as they say.
That's it. Yeah.
Sofia, tremendous work. Congratulations. I know you're still at the starting line, really, in the grand scheme of things, but congratulations on all the strides and accomplishments so far with your AI transformation. And I'm very much looking forward to hearing about how this all goes and what's next.
Okay. Thank you so much, Josh. And thank you for having me.